mínútur í kast, sko. Og sagði, núna. Það lína kast þetta. Ég var enn. Það mínútur, sko. Það kom svo testur. Það á ég að vera að gefa hann þessi skot. Þú veist það á ég að fara mér. Ég veit það ekki. Það er ekki að gefa hann þetta skot. Það sko. Hvað kom þetta? Hvað er gerst það? Sex. Hleyptu bara með hann gæja. 6 og 4 bara. Ég spila ekki með hann þetta fara bókstaf gott. Ég átti að fara bókstaf. Það er svona óþægilegt, það er svona ógeðslega dimmt og svo gerðið blessa stað. Ég veit, það er mest óþægilega mannast í heim. Til þessu sko. Alltaf búin 6 ára, það lokar svona helviti skoðum. Svo mjög. Hvað ég gerði fyrir það aftur? Smjögt. Gati fengið legast. Kjafta henni. Það er ekki bara dobla aftur. Nei, það er ekki. Vá, aftur. Svona. Hvað anskotan hann bilast ef hann mínustakk og ekki ég. Hendi þessar tölvu saman. Ég þetta sem svona. Svo. Svona á ég dóttur. Ógeðslega gott, sko. Sem senst að líka á hann, sko. Það er gott, fuck it. Hvað smeltur þetta, sko. Sjá hvað sem ljóð, þetta er bara. Fikk 6 og 1. Náði því ekki svona einu kalli. Mjög bra. Nei. Síður, hann var náttúrulega getur, hann var bara, þú veist, 36, spilaði, bara ekki eins og saman hann. Það ókast að dæmti með henni.
Já, ekki bara að kveikja. Það skrýmir þetta ekki. Þessi plast, þetta er veldur plástur og það myndi vera flottur.
Ok, erum við að fara að gera svona, þetta er ljótt, ég veit það, en það er tveim köllum. Nei, það er ekki ljótt. Já, svona, þetta fara upp í 50 greinar. Já, svona, þetta er ljótt. Þetta er svona, ég held að það. Fastir líf. Sem dagar skilur ástæðan. Sem sko.
Glæsilegt Ásta, djöfull var þetta vel gert hjá þér. Ha, þetta bara flott PR sko. Þetta glæsilegur leikur sko.
Hvað það self-toy Coca-Cola?
Það segir. Það talar við þig.
Já,
Já, bara mjög gott sko. Hver að bjóða þessar?
Hvað voru að segja? Það? Hræðilegt teik hjá mér í tímasetningu. Hvaða teik?
Teikið sem að fekk þig upp í 11 sko, þegar þú varst að hugsa okkar það væri vont, þú veist það var alveg rétt doppjaður sko. Hann átti að vera heldur eftir hérna.
Doppið?
Nei, droppið, teikið í honum sko, hann átti að droppa sko. Hann gaf þér bara Crawford-leikinn eða bara sko, það var alveg hræðilegt teik sko. Það bara þannig sko. Þetta er 550 villar sko. Það er mjög gott doppljörðir sko, bara mjög vel spilað því sá sko. Alveg reynt sko.
Ég er alveg glöð samt að hafa verið með lærra heldur en gera meðan þú varst að spila. Þú veist þannig að það er bara svona
Já.
Ég er bara að spila lengi með þess að það er ekkert val á því. Og ég var ekkert eitthvað, ég var svona hrædd að ég væri það bara með verra heldur en ég ger, skilur.
Já.
Þú veist það er lítið betur en að vera með betra, þú veist.
Nei, það er glæsilegt. Það er ekki að skilja, hann ennþá að inni, hann var ekki að Ég lék af svo af mér í þessum leik, maður. Ég var tiltaði svo, maður. Ég var í stöðunni, þá bara fór ég að spila illa því ég var svo full yfir hvað ég lék illa, sko. Í stöðunni 9-2. Ég hugsaði að ég var 9-2.
Já, vá, einmitt.
Þú veist, þá var ég bara með unnin leik, doblaðan leik, upp í 11, þetta var 11-2. Svo bara lék ég eitthvað að mér, maður. Og hann hitti mig og...
Já, en hvernig komst þú samt upp í?
Ég bara með því að vinna næstu leikinn. Þetta var skelfilegt, sko.
Já. Þú getur samt unnið þetta?
Já,
það er bara alveg þannig.
Ég veit. Já, ég veit. Það myndi með sigur.
Takk, ég veit, það er ógeðslega fúlt. Ógeðslega leiðilegt að byrja á móti svona, en herru, þú ert nú bara samt það góður, þú rústaði þessu alla leið. Ertu búin að kæra leikja um þetta?
Við erum búin lengi í tölvunni og... Já, það held ég, já. Ég finn að það var enga bröður í. Það kannski ekkert að þessum gerir, sko. Það ekkert að vera að sé eitthvað að þessu gerir, sko.
Ég veit ekki þannig Martin með það sem ég ætla samt að gera þætti.
Já, mátt vera það maður.
Og haflega.
Já.
Haflega er alveg góð, sko. Svona þannig séð það. Smá góð stund.
Já, virkilega. Hæ? Hvað segir þið?
Koma bara til mín með þér.
Þú bara með massan ekki að þessu.
Hæ?
Þú mætti þig. Já.
Prime Minister, when you first came to power, you told me you hated seeing Britain decline and that you were going to get the House in order. Now, almost 3 years on, we have inflation at 12%, unemployment of 3 million, and rioting and civil unrest in several major cities.
It's true, but there isn't a magical system whereby you can just push a few buttons and twiddle a few knobs and everything will be all right. Of course, I'd like to reduce interest rates.
Prime Minister, are you all right?
Perfect. But to do that, we first need to get the inflation rate down, and that means to cut public spending. I would like to be very much tougher. But I'm going faster than Parliament and all the people will allow me. I'm so sorry. The very idea that the first time the Prime Minister should break down would be a war.
It is by no means the first time a Prime Minister has broken down here. Over the years, this room has been part office, part drawing room, part confessional, and part psychologist's couch. We even have paper hankies.
It's my son, Mark.
You have 2 children, yes?
Yes, twins. Mark and Carol. 28 years old. And my favorite, Mark. A very special child.
Säger du bara?
Kind of son anyone would
Så det var det.
Evan!
has gone missing.
Hörde du vad han sa?
Mhm.
My favorite.
Ja.
Sitting in the Paris-Dakar car wreck.
Vad säger du på dina favorite? Det är bara mismunande från dag till dag.
Into the Sahara Desert.
Mm.
You don't know where we are, do you? Yes, I do. I know exactly. We're 23 kilometres east of west of Regani. Regan. We're lost. We're not lost. I know exactly what I'm doing.
The last sighting was at a checkpoint in a village in Algeria 2 days ago. Since then, nothing.
It's been 5 days since Mark Hatcher was last sighted with his teammates. Police have begun to scour the desert terrain in which they went missing, with the trip of Mark and
The Prime Minister said something interesting today about her son.
About his sense of direction.
She described him as her favourite child.
Is that interesting?
The way she said it was, without equivocation or thought. Don't do that. Openly admit preferring one child to another, especially twins.
Any honest parent?
What?
Any honest parent would admit to having a favorite.
Who's our favourite?
My favorite or your favorite?
Is it different?
I'd say so, yes.
All right, you first. Who's yours? You said that alarmingly quickly.
Because it didn't require thought.
Philip,
And your favorite is
I don't know.
liar.
It's true. I really don't know.
Your lack of self-knowledge sometimes is breathtaking.
On balance, I'd say that was necessary.
Everyone knows who your favorite is.
Do they?
Yes.
Well, who? Go on. Philip. You can't just leave.
Watch me.
Philip.
Oliko sinä mennä?
Men
Kuka on hyvä edellytys?
8:24.
Aha.
13:13. Ah.
Joo, mä ottaa ekaan. Hyvä.
Mm.
Mä 17.
Ja. Mm.
Mark 24, right, 24, 800.
overseas territory and you have landed illegally. You and your colleagues must leave immediately and remove the Argentine flag.
Ustedes son los ilegales.
¡Viva Argentina! Remove the flag, please. And all
Sukk
immediately
og svínarín og slátra þetta páska ekki bara hérna á.
Nei, ástu minn, þessu leður þú
De que saquemos nuestra bandera de nuestro propio territorio.
Já, já. En ég er saman en það er gaman að þú að vera það er bara snillt og hérna ég meina síðast þá tapaði ég einum leik í mótinu þannig að ég bara held á hann og nú vinn ég bara fyrir síðast
Hvernig áttu eftir?
og það bara
Aðeins að slá hrókan niður í honum svo. Hann var bara spenntur, límdur við minn leik, bara bíða eftir að Jói myndi falla tíma.
In private, one at a time.
Of course. Any particular order?
Important, I think, though, that each is unaware that the others have been summoned too.
Yes.
Martin, perhaps a short briefing document ahead of each meeting, focusing on each child's hobbies, interests, and so forth.
Right.
One would hate to appear uninformed, or cold, or remotely remote.
Of course. Some encouraging news is that a Swiss driver by the name of Michel Bozy, apparently saw our country's co-pilot yesterday. Yes, alive. Lord Carrington and the Foreign Office made urgent requests of the Swiss embassy to make contact with Bozy to get more information, but without success.
Brilliant. They can't even locate the drivers who are lost.
Well, I'd better get over there. One final thing, Prime Minister. A small situation developing in the South Atlantic. The governor of the Falkland Islands, Rex Hunt, has asked for permission for an icebreaker vessel.
Falklands stríðið sko
From Port Stanley to the island of South
Viltu
Atlantic
pása þér?
to evict a group of Argentine scrap metal workers.
eins og það var spoiler neitt sko en Bretland og Argentína áttu sér í stríði þetta hafi verið að byrja hérna Falklands stríðið og svo fyndi sko bara núna Ricky Gervais tók þetta í einhverju uppistandinu sínu bara yeah, Britain joined a war with Argentina og það er svona undarlegt maður er ekki að tengja það að vestræn lönd sé að fara í stríð bara eitthvað svona núna fyrir bara nokkrum árum sko og hann lýsti þessu basically hann sko Bretarnir unnu sko því Bretarnir áttu sko skip og byssurnar á þeirra þeir drifu sko 500 metra og meðan byssurnar hjá Argentínumönnum þeir drifu bara 200 metra þannig að Bretarnir fóru bara svona 250 metra fyrir fram að þá og þá skutuðu bara og þeir gátu ekki hitt og þetta er svona this is the wartime equivalent þetta er svona
bara stríði verkfræðingara.
Já, þetta er svona stríðislega séð, þú veist, equivalent, svona jafnt á við að vera að slást í dverg og halda svona haustnum á honum hérna. Hann er bara hér og meðan sparka þú svona í.
Já. Já, menn hvað það gjör? Gefa þeim alveg spáta, skilur og bara svona, hver er bestur að skjóta?
Nei. Já, nei, það er svona eins og.
Is currently at Port Stanley and will be manned by a detachment of Royal Marines to release the outnumber of this scrap metal workers who are trespassing. take it to the Foreign Secretary.
Þetta er sérst hitt dóttir sem ekki
Ég var alltaf átt að ringa 20 og... Er lítið út fyrir að vera það? 28? Lítið út fyrir að vera 12? Já, getur það verið það. Buguð 28 sem hefur aldrei fengið inn ást.
Þetta er neymdum að hún gefur mikið ástu. Svona sem skilur.
There's a nasty, vicious imperiousness and sense of entitlement some of these people. I can't help it if roads are closed.
Darling, so lovely to see you.
What's all this? You were terrible fright when I heard you wanted lunch, and this isn't bad news, is it? I'm still getting my civil list money.
Yes, all £20,000 of it.
Don't say it like that.
Well, it's rather a lot of money if someone's still at school.
Most of it goes on secretary expenses anyway.
£800 goes to secretary expenses, I checked, which by my reckoning still leaves a small fortune.
All safely tucked away in a trust. Don't worry. What's lunch? Wait, let me guess. Poached salmon.
Yes.
Brilliant. I had a bet with my protection officer on the way here that it would be poached salmon. It's always poached salmon in this place. I'm amazed we don't all have fins and gills.
Hver er þetta eiginlega?
Ég veit það ekki.
Var hann búin að segja nafnið? Þetta sé Andrew hann.
So you're head end now.
I did tell you we call it that at Gordonston, of course, sorry.
And what have you learned from as a consequence?
What?
You know the aphorism, no man knows who he truly is until either his life is threatened or he's given power.
I'm afraid it's unleashed the latent policeman in me.
You don't say that.
Why? Discipline is important, and I happen to have discovered a taste for
What's that?
enforcing it.
Edward,
I even had someone sent down last term.
Send down that.
Home. Smoking.
Weren't you almost caught sneaking once?
Almost, yes. I was clever enough to get away with it.
Isn't that a little unfair?
It's life, Mummy.
Life has dealt you rather a good hand.
Yes. Not without its challenges either. I mean, I might have been bullied a bit as normal Eddie Windsor, but as Prince Edward, third in line to the throne,
Who bullies you?
pretty much everyone.
How?
You don't.
I do.
All right. They call me Jaws, my braces. They fill plastic spoons with saliva and flick it at the back of my head. They put super glue on my chair. Gave me a bottle of white wine as a gift, which turned out to be...
piss.
What? You're it. Even went to the trouble of chilling it. I can't help admiring their ingenuity. Don't look like that. Cricket's going well. Made the first 11 again.
How about academic work? A-levels next term. How's that coming along? I read your report.
Don't believe everything you read.
If you need any extra help.
Don't worry. I've met all the Cambridge admissions people. They're going to make it happen. They're no fools. It's good for them too. A member of the royal family at Jesus College. Just wait and see how the applications rocket.
That's not a particularly attractive attitude.
It's true though, isn't it? Same with the Marines, same with the city, same with any area of life I might fancy. People will always want me. And what do you expect me to do about that? Say no? There has to be some upside to being who we are. And some return for what we do for the country.
Hann er basically bara presentaður sem algjör spoiled brat, sko.
Reports of sightings today are now being discounted. This is what the area looks like on the map. This is what some of the area looks like in actuality.
In addition to the French Air Force planes, there are now 2 helicopters and 3 desert trucks and the classic modern aeroplane involved in the search for Mark.
Because Daddy just arrived safely in Algiers.
Now, the good news is that with the help of the race organisers, we've managed to narrow down the search to a section of Sahara between Tamanrasset in Algeria and Tessalit in northern Mali. The bad news is that still leaves us with a search area of approximately 130,000 square miles.
Will you put that into context?
That's bigger than the entire United Kingdom.
No.
I'm sorry, the Foreign Secretary insisted.
What is it, Charles?
It's the situation in the Falklands. With HMS Endurance now on its way to South Georgia, carrying a combat unit of Royal Marines, if you recall,
Yes. You did describe that work.
the Argentine junta has responded by sending its own ice patrol ship and 2 missile-carrying corvettes
With what justification?
to protect its citizens.
Who are breaking the law by trespassing,
The Foreign Secretary has asked for your support of his proposed solution,
which is
to reroute HMS Endurance to avoid what he sees as an unnecessary conflict with Argentina while the situation is resolved diplomatically.
you mean to do nothing.
Yes. And trust all will be well.
How will it be well if we do nothing? How will it possibly turn out well if we do nothing? Our people, far from home, their lives are endangered, Charles. Our own. We must do something. If you'll excuse me, while I get back to my son.
Yes, Grimace.
Hello, darling. Hello. I haven't got long, I'm afraid. It's there for the dinner. So straight out? Yes, I just need to change. Okay. Forecast for rain. You sure you want to do this? Yes, quite sure. Good afternoon, Ellen. How are we? Very well. Good afternoon. How are you?
Svo ósættulegt að sjá. Ég sé alltaf drottninguna bara fyrir mér eins og lítur núna, bara gráhæð, lítil, eitthvað.
Já,
Hún búin að vera þannig í svo mörg ár.
Mhm.
Ég sé hana bara ekki fyrir mig vera bara koppiti, skilur.
Nei,
Bara alls ekki, sko.
ég veit.
Is this all right? It's a bit wet. It's fine. Isn't this heaven? If you say so, you do. Tucked away in the country, rain and mud and horses and dogs, children, privacy. I do envy you. Well, it's not quite the evening you imagine. For a start, there isn't privacy. They are there. Wherever I go. Journalists, photographers, just got it in for me. Bastards. Well, if you will keep calling them that. I told them to nap off. Once. And can you blame me? They're so mean to me all the time. I'm pretty low-key, as you know. I don't want praise or attention or thanks. But I'm only human. Sometimes even a pit pony needs a pat on the head. You know the feeling. It's not easy. Working in the heat and squalor of a third world country, doing real work for real charities. Do I get as much as a mention in any newspaper? Or a thank you? Do I heck? Yet all she has to do is put on a frock, and she's all over all the front pages, and everyone's falling over in shock at how wonderful she is. Who? Her. Diana. The only other young female in the family, yes, against whom I am now always compared. Lovely her, dumpy me. Smiling her, grumpy me. Charming her, awful me. And the constant questions about my marriage all the time. About Mark. Yes, how is Mark? That's it, exactly like that. How is Mark? Mark's fine. I'm fine. The children are fine. But I'm happy to hear that. Only there has been talk. I thought we didn't listen to it. A meeting recently with Commander Trestro. Who? Head of the Royal Protection Branch. He felt compelled to mention rumours about Sergeant Cross and the two of you being intimate. And in light of these rumours, Scotland Yard has recommended his transfer back to desk duties in Croydon. Do that to me. You can't. Here's the one thing that makes me happy. You have so much to make you happy, then how come none of it does? Well, again, if you're patient. Is that advice, stick it out, remember it, persevere? Well, these things usually pass if you have the patience to wait. I used to enjoy my reputation as the difficult one. I used to relish scaring people with it because I could control it. But recently, I'm no one who's scared. Because it started to feel more like it controls me. And it's changed. It's not just feeling angry. It's a kind of recklessness. I just want to smash it all up. It will pass too. Is that it? Is doing nothing your solution to everything? Just go. So I mustn't keep you. I may have things to do. Can you find your way back? Yes.
Ætli halda hann fram hjá þessum verkefnum?
Já,
Hver er einasti þegar hún er búin að gera þetta, skilur?
einmitt sko.
Og það er bara svo já. Þú bara lítur undan.
Já, einmitt sko, það er bara mín regla, það er bara mín reynsla, stundum er best bara að líta undan.
Was sighted this morning by an Algerian Air Force C-130 search plane, only a few miles from the border with Mali. As the pilot returned to the rescue headquarters, he was embraced by Mr. Dennis Thatcher, Mark's father. Mr. Thatcher telephoned the Prime Minister in London to tell her the good news.
I am delighted to be able to confirm the wonderful news
Prime Minister will be relieved to be reunited with her favourite child. You worked out who yours is yet?
I was never worried for my life. The others were getting a bit existential.
Of course they were, darling. They're friends.
Quite. Now, I remained pretty relaxed and treated our time in the desert as a holiday. In that time, read my book.
Oh, that's nice, darling.
What's this?
It's your favourite, Toad in the Hole.
Yes, I can see that from me, but honestly, where's the baby?
Oh, I am sorry.
Anyway, when we were eventually found, our game was a bit of a shock. I've no idea we were celebrities. On the front cover of the world's pages.
Oh, you were a celebrity.
I'm not sure that's the right I'd use. It was all nonsense, really. Prime Minister's son lost in the desert. Because we weren't lost. I mean, I knew where we were. It's just that no one else did. That was the problem. Truth is, you lot lost us.
Let's get you off course. By 30 miles.
Carol, it's not quite that simple. The whole point is to make your own route.
Well, Mark, Dwight didn't seem too happy. She was rushed to hospital with Houston.
Well, Carol, she was being overdramatic.
Of course she was. She's a woman.
Well,
Pass the whack to her.
brilliant. Anyway, no sooner are we found than Dad tells me off.
What? Why did you do that?
I just thought he could have shown a bit more gratitude to the rescue team.
What? It was their job, wasn't it? And gratitude for what? It's a way to hold you. The entire search and rescue operation was a complete farce.
Oh, what do you expect from Bedouins?
Excuse me, I need a top up.
Would you like some salt?
No, it's fine.
You have to admit, it's intolerable.
It's mothers and sons. That's all it is.
Well, thank God there are fathers and daughters then. Where are you going to go?
Oh, why should I go? And come with me. You and me, dear, we're the support act in this show. Sorry to interrupt, Thomas. Our latest intelligence from Buenos Aires suggests that, faced with a desperate situation domestically, the fear is the military junta might consider an attack on the Falklands a risk worth taking, but it will play well in the Argentine people.
Tell the Foreign Secretary to come and see me.
He's in Brussels.
And the Chief of the Defence Staff.
He's in New Zealand.
Then the Defence Secretary.
He's in the United States.
When we are about to be attacked, I fail to understand the lack of urgency from everyone. Tell the Foreign Secretary and the Chief of the Defence Staff and the Defence Secretary I want them in my office by this time tomorrow.
Prime Minister.
David 479, low-level flight loss to the east, normal 500 feet, on the London QNH 1013. That would make a bit of an entrance. You don't think a right helicopter is enough for this?
Is that how we go?
To meet there. For lunch? Out by 4-ish?
I said leave it with me.
Nej.
Prince Andrew, Your Majesty.
Þetta Andrew? Veitu, hvað er á hinn?
Ég sagði þarna.
Ég spurði hvort það hafi verið Andrew.
Chopper. I told them the truth. That I've been signed on a matter of national importance by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces.
It's a mother and son lunch, hardly a matter of national importance.
The Queen. I'm second in line to the threat. With as much as brave as
Og hvað heitir miðbæðis? Nei, hann örugglega þessu örugglega eldri.
There are
Nei, hann bara út eftir hann hérna. Þú spurði til hann. Hvað heitir
First is my type.
What?
The one you bestow when I get married.
Yeah. He hadn't given his own thought. I had no idea you were even thinking of getting married.
Not. Well, seriously. This latest one. Quite something.
No, yes, the young, racy American
Ja, það er.
Yes.
Not sure which of those words makes my heart sink most.
Mustn't believe what you read.
Well, I had nothing else to go on, so she hadn't brought it to read.
Edward var áðan, og nú er þetta Andrew, já.
Really?
Og þessi Andrew, það hann sem að...
Það er það sem var að namnið.
It's blue. It's not blue at all. They're set in the 1920s. Followed an impressionable, nubile, 17-year-old girl.
17? I'm not sure I want to know more.
Don't be such a prude, Mum. The story is that she returns home from finishing school in Switzerland to her mother's country house in the English countryside. No, they
What, the Herbert's house?
Yes, that's where they filmed it.
Oh, that's a lovely house. Your grandpa used to go shooting there.
Anyway, there she meets several twisted and perverted older predators who seduce the vulnerable, helpless young Emily as we follow her induction into sensual pleasures.
Yes, you're right. It doesn't sound blue at all. Are you sure?
Cared.
It might come as a shock to you to know that I care.
The point is, it's art, which means it's perfectly appropriate for a future Duchess of
York?
York.
Yes, York. The idea just came to me. It's the dukedom that traditionally goes to the second eldest and has long military associations.
As in the Grand Old Duke of.
Exactly.
Didn't the previous two dukes of York also later become king?
Yes, due to the unexpected death or abdication of their elder brothers. But in your case, not only would Charles have to die, he'd probably have to murder any sons that might have.
Duke of York has history in that department too. Richard III.
Oh, yes. You are clever.
This salmon is delicious.
Isn't it?
Speaking of military associations, there is something else I wanted to discuss with you. When you're part of a frontline unit, as I am, you keep a pretty close eye on what's going on. And the talk is that this Falklands thing isn't going to go away. Now, I would never ask you to divulge what goes on in your private audiences with your Prime Ministers.
And I'd never tell.
I just wanted to let you know that if the situation were to escalate, I'd insist on going. And I'd want your assurance that the Crown would not stand between me and frontline service.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Good.
We never shirk action in this family, ever. We're no different to anyone else.
That's what I spend my life telling you.
Átti hann að vera uppáhaldan? Hver sagði það?
Nú var þetta að segja fyrir hvað?
Nei, en pappinn sagði það. Philip sagði eitthvað svona þegar hann loppaði út. Hvað er þetta? Andrew og Edward.
Ma'am, I've had a call from the Prince of Wales' private secretary who wondered if, instead of seeing His Royal Highness tomorrow in London, I'd like to visit his new house Highgrove in Gloucestershire.
That work, time-wise?
Yes, I'd have pitched we could still get you back to London by evening.
All right, why not?
In a dramatic escalation in naval radio traffic, GCHQ has also detected unusual flight activity. It does now appear a major Argentine deployment is on its way to the Falkland Islands with, one can only assume, the intention of invading.
Then it must defend robustly.
I feel obliged to mention, Prime Minister, that diplomatic channels are still open.
With respect to time diplomacy past, the moment they planted an Argentine flag on British territory,
I quite agree.
I think we can get a task force together to defend the islands within 48 hours.
But that's absurd.
Why?
It's 8,000 miles away. It would take any naval vessel 3 weeks to get there, and by that time the Falkland Islands will be Argentine.
Then I say we retake them. Is it impossible, Admiral? Do you think we could?
I do, Prime Minister.
Then we must.
But the cost alone, sending 30,000 military personnel to the South Atlantic on the back of a recession where output is still low and unemployment breathtakingly high, we must consider public opinion. This government, this administration is currently...
Go on, Jeffrey. Say it.
Unloved, unpopular. We will never survive an unnecessary and unaffordable.
And I say we will not survive not going to war. Admiral, will you please join me in the flat upstairs to discuss this further? Say in half an hour, and ask the Chiefs of Staff to join us. Oh, good, you're here. I need your help. We must prepare dinner for the Chiefs of Staff.
I want to talk to you.
Darling, what now?
Where's Mark so obviously your... You have twin children, and you clearly prefer one over the other.
Carol, that's not true.
It's indisputably and painfully true. What I want to say to you is that just because you had a difficult relationship with your mother...
Darling, I really don't have time to
You
this.
cannot let it affect your relationship with all women. Most of all, your own daughter.
Darling, you do pick your moments. I'm busy. In a few minutes, I have the Chiefs of Staff coming.
Then give me one of those minutes. You disregard me. You overlook me. And you favour...
He's stronger. Like my father was strong. Yes, you are right. I did struggle with my mother, but it had nothing to do with her sex. It had to do with her weakness. I could not bear how she was prepared to just be a housewife.
Because her husband treated her as such.
That is not true. Your grandfather, my father, was wonderful with women. Wonderful. He encouraged me.